Oh, yeah. This is BrotherRA.com hosting Unsurpassable Justice right here on CCTV, Cambridge Community Television. 1 o'clock and 50 seconds into the show. Once again, Unsurpassable Justice, your host, Brother R.A., in the palatial suite of CCTV. Ha ha ha. Now, what is today's date? Let's go to my calendar. Can y'all see that picture there? How about if we go to that shot there and say, bam. History of Racial Injustice 2018 calendar. And the picture for this particular month, and what happened today? Oh, the end of July, the last Wednesday, next Wednesday, next Wednesday is going to be the 1st. That means August 1st. So we've completed 6 months of 2018. And let's go ahead into July 25th, 1890. Marsh Cook, a white advocate for black voting rights, is murdered in Jasper County, Mississippi, by white men who opposed his work. No one is arrested or prosecuted. How about yesterday, the 24th, 1972? Washington Star reports on Tuskegee syphilis experiment by U.S. Centers for Disease Control using poor black Alabama sharecroppers. Oh, how poetically sweet, as I'm sitting here with the immortal life of Henrietta Lacks. This was produced by Oprah. She acted her ass off in this. I mean, HeLa cells. Helen Lane. No. As long as you don't use the patient's real name, Henrietta Lacks, you can use Helen Lane, and the family never got any compensation. The story finally got told about the immortal life of Henrietta Lacks. And just after watching Henrietta Lacks, for me, I went ahead and put in The American Assassin. So, being a media professional, am I in the shot? I want to lean this way. Okay. Make sure I'm in the shot. Being the media professional, head is at the top of the screen. I'm in the upper third of the shot. I'm showing, I'm wearing a red with a purple background, my reading glasses, just composing the poetry of my media. And Henrietta Lacks, the immortal life of Henrietta Lacks. Thank you, what's this woman's name? This woman here who actually told the story of, where's her name at? Damn. Oh, there it is. Rebecca Skloot. S-K-L-O-O-T-S. Critically acclaimed. And yes, The story needs to be told about a melanin-dominant black woman's cells. I mean, I just told you about the Tuskegee experiment, syphilis experiments on melanin-dominant people. And now Henrietta Lacks cells live on forever, and I'm here in the intellectual mecca of the world, Cambridge, Massachusetts, Harvard, and MIT, surrounded by Amgen, Biogen, Genzyme, and a host of other biochemical companies, and you can order HeLa cells. I mean, how do the medical industries deal with melanin-dominant people? And I got beat up last week or a few weeks ago by family members. Have you ever seen a pineal gland? Have you ever seen your own pineal gland? Okay, well, no, I didn't hit the pipe yet. I may not. I got my little, no, I'm totally sober, but media professional watching Henrietta Lacks and then watching American Assassin and being that media professional, I'm talking about, well, maybe I can become a HeLa cell in media and make myself eternal and live on and hope that the information is carried on. The knowledge and information of black people. And I'm still watching Covert Affairs. Yes, season 2. Am I a covert affair? Let's move on. I don't have time. Time is not my friend. 7 minutes into the show. Let's go to the Tao. Dang Ming Tao. Yes, the one I walk around with, beat up, torn up, but I did write down the pages I do need to read or wish to share with you. And yeah, just wish to show you the palatial shot and where I'm at inside of CCTV in Central Square. And that used to be Quest Diagnostics. Now it's going to be a housing complex for of 500 some odd units. But okay, back to the reality at hand, Brother R.A., and all I got to say today, let's just go ahead and read page 352. Am I looking at the right camera? Yeah, well, make sure I'm at the right camera, at the right angle, doing everything I need to do with all my media literacy and my poetry and my liquid pineal gland and tapping into my oneness, rooting, centering, and grounding myself. 109 into the show, 15 seconds. Template. Dang Ming Tao. 365 Tao Daily Meditations. Template. You must see nature as a machine. Is your only learning chemistry, physics, and ontology? What if poetry was your template for life? Can't you know Tao by the feeling of mud in your sandals? Thus are the sages called silly. They have given up their prejudices. The world appears as you perceive it. It is not that your perceptions are wholly shaped by a so-called objective world. The habit of interpretation is interactive. We do things to test our hypothesis until we have created a complicated web of sensory input and centrifugal manipulation. Centrifugal, dealing with the center. I did look that up, and let's get to centrifugal. I wish for you to hear it, if I have it readily available. It's coming.
Centrifugal.
Centrifugal, okay. Moving or tending to move away from a center. So let's make sure we get this right. The habit of interpretation is interactive. We do things to test our hypothesis until we have created a complicated web of a complicated web of sensory input and
centrifugal
manipulation. By the time we are mature, we have created innumerable layers of interpretation and biased perception that become our templates for living. Of course, we could have some fun with this situation. We could change the templates that we use to interact with the world. What if we use poetry instead of science? What if we substituted spirituality for politics? The results of such experimentation are often fresh, happy, and unusual. Unfortunately, when carried to their logical conclusions, they are just as futile as any other method. The templates are essential for beginners and a hindrance for veterans. True followers of Tao give up all templates and are without prejudices. They return to the actions of infants. Thus, they are called silly. But because they view the world with their inner eye, they transcend all the sorrows of life. That was template from Daily Meditations, Tao. The opposite page, I will read 353, promises. Visions better than drugs haven't come. Intelligence exceeding genius hasn't come. Titanic strength hasn't come. Beauty to abstract lovers hasn't come. Visitations from gods haven't come. Freedom from weariness hasn't come. An end to vexing annoyances hasn't come. Great wealth hasn't come. Fame hasn't come. unlimited understanding of others hasn't come. Supernatural powers haven't come. The skill to spontaneously heal hasn't come. The gift of prophecy hasn't come. None of these things have come. Yet, I would not forsake this spiritual path. All sorts of things are promised to you as a seeker of spirituality. Yet, when these things don't come, does that mean that you should forsake your path? Spirituality is not a transaction with the universe. It is an endeavor that we take up because it is our ultimate mode of being. If we get nothing for it, we should not be bothered. Who cares about powers? They only lead to temptation. Those who follow Tao should care only for understanding. Promises. There's so much here I wish to share, dealing with the healer cells, the media, the pictures that I have for you. Here, I'm going to play just a little bit of some of the pictures to conclude last week's segment. I showed you the water, and here, let's go to Latrell. Let's get this queued up. Okay, hold on. Don't you go nowhere.
Stop, Richard. Stop, Richard.
How'd you get wet, Trell?
I was just splashing.
Okay, we'll take that one. We'll take that one.
Yeah. I just gotta grab my
So here, have anything to say to yourself? You proud of yourself with your activities today?
I'm very proud. I did really good today.
Great, thank you, Trell. Okay, well, let's move on to the next one. We got that. Okay. Here's this one here. What you say? You did what?
I said I went zip lining today with no problem at
You better
all.
get off that rock
I
before
know,
you fall and bust your...
The camera's so low, I'm trying to look down to be in it.
We get you.
Yep, I had no trouble at all going down. It was so much fun. I plan on doing it again next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, all those who want to do it, come out and join us again. We had so much fun. We're going to do it again next year.
Great. Thank you so much. What you say? You did what?
I said I went zip lining.
Okay, so we got that from Latrell. And what other pictures do we wish to show? Okay, there's cousin Danny and Trell. He's helping her. And Can I get to the next picture? Is that going back? That's going back. Let's go forward. My cousin's wife. We're out at the mountains in North Conway or White Mountains or wherever. Just beautiful shots to go along with the Tao reading. And actually, I will go ahead and do that. After dealing with the HeLa cells and we as melanin-dominant black people, becoming one with the environment, one with the nature, and Henrietta Lacks's cells, DNA was taken from her without her consent. And this is the society that we live in. This is not fiction. This is reality. And who am I as a melanin-dominant black man living in America and seeing the environment that was taken and stolen? What is the emblem for the state of Massachusetts? Indigenous man with a sword over his head. And I mean, y'all can look up all that nonsense. I just wish to focus on the energies and deal with, I'm going to go ahead and read. I read template promises. Now let's read 350. Hourglass. Life is like an hourglass. Consciousness is the sand. Imagine an hourglass. Its shape is like the symbol for infinity. Its form recalls the double helix of DNA. Its two sections represent polarity. The material on one side, the immaterial on the other side. The male on one side, the female on the other side. Hot and cold, positive and negative, or any other duality. The sand runs in a stream. The same stream as the course of energy that runs up your spine. The same stream that is the road of life. The movement of that sand is what we call Tao. Our consciousness alternates between the various states represented by the hourglass. It is difficult to grasp as a stream of sand. Therefore, it is foolish to examine things minutely. It is unwise to focus on the material. It is wisdom to understand the movement. I'm going to read the opposite page, and let's see what other photographs I have here. Is that going to start playing? I don't wish for it to play. But okay, the opposite page of Hourglass 350 is 351. Breath. You breathe. Frosting mountains white. Exciting trees to the verdant flame. Dancing sparrows on your wing. swirling waves into long sighs. You breathe, and all things live. Okay, I don't like that. Keep doing that. Stop that.
Rashad.
A central
You're doing
concept.
what again?
I'm gonna take a picture of the mountain behind you guys. You know what I'm saying? She's a dancer. She can't dance.
I got the.
We'll go back to this. I don't choreograph my show, I just do it. What comes out, comes out. A central concept for Tao is breath. Without breath, there is no life. The complexity of this idea is great indeed. You breathe. That brings you oxygen. You breathe. That sustains you. You breathe. That regulates your heartbeat, feeds your brain, makes your blood red. Deeper still, you breathe, and the entire energy field of your body is sustained and set into motion. When that field, so intimately tied to breathing, is integrated with your mind, you have the power of spirituality. Breath. Don't crassly think of it as mere gas. Just as we breathe, so too does the universe breathe. In fact, we can think of the entire medium of life as breath. When the world breathes, all things are sustained. Weather moves as it should, plants grow as they should, animals are made strong. The very forces of geology are set into motion. And together, a mighty field of energy is generated. A much larger version of what happens in your own body. Connected to that field is a universal mind. Do you want to know how spirituality works? Breathe. I'm going to go ahead and read 143. These are things my chi just allows me. I randomly open up the Tao and it allows me to read what needs to be read for me at that particular time. So, let's go to intuition, 143. Let's see if we have another photograph and not that one. Oh, there I am. Ha ha ha. Goober. Looking at the mountains. Intuition. Hawk doesn't think during the hunt. It does not care for theory or ethics. All that it does is natural. Animals live simple lives close to Tao. They do not need to think or reason. They never doubt themselves. When they are hungry, they eat. When they are tired, they sleep. They respond to the cycles of the day according to their intuition. They mate at the proper season. They nurture their young according to their own understanding. When they die, they fall under the teeth of predators or the dispassionate turning of the seasons. By contrast, we as human beings depart from the natural norm and worry about ethical action. Extremes of behavior have become more varied, running the gamut from the sadistic to the moralistic. Tao considers all this artificial and unnatural. Why divorce ourselves from nature? The follower of Tao prefers to live completely in concert with Tao, avoiding the interference of theory and excessive thought. Though one must first learn skill and ethics thoroughly, one must come to embody them so completely that they become subconscious. Reacting to a situation by asking what is right and what is wrong is already too slow. One must intuitively do what is correct. There should be no foreshadowing of an act, nor doubt about oneself. Let's go to 144. That was 143, intuition. Prior to that was, oh, no, I didn't get to the page prior. Okay, intuition, 143. Let's go to leisure real quick. 142, bird chirp, vanguard for coming rain. Dog bark skitters through twilight village. Smoke rises a column through the pines. Contented families dine in golden windows. Life's pulse is gauged in the hollows, the intervals between events. If you want to see Tao, you must discern these spaces. This requires leisure. The chance to sit and contemplate, the opportunity to respond to the inner urgings. If you can find a place to retreat, you can make a life where Tao will flood unto you. Correction. If you find a place to retreat, you can make a life where Tao will flood into you. out in the woods or in the mountains or even in small villages where the times are slow paced and the people sensitive to nature, there is the possibility of knowing the deep and the profound. Only when you have the time to accumulate an unshakable belief and faith, you can glimpse the Tao in which there is restfulness and a natural sense of what is right. That was Leisure 142. I'm going to continue with Latent 144. Prophets and priests teach the form of Tao. Tao's essence cannot be taught. It is latent and cannot be known by learning. Why do religions wither and become extinct? Because they are only the works of people. After all, religion and spirituality, though related, are not synonymous. Religion is the creation of people and cultures. Spirituality is the direct personal relationship with Tao. Religions often degenerate into convention, ritual, and corruption. They are imperfect. When their creators fade, even the holiest words gradually lose their power. Our spiritual problems don't substantially differ from those of our ancestors. And today's truths will attempt to find the same spirituality as before. Why? Because all truths eventually point to Tao. And Tao has always existed latently, unbroken, and eternal. We may begin our investigations in the realm of the religious, but once we clear away the distortions and the interfering aspects of our own consciousness, we enter the realm of Tao. Once that happens, there is no need for religions. If we were to have a genuine spiritual experience, it would be lunacy to then go out and try to become religious leaders. We would only be repeating the same mistakes of countless other genuine seekers. It would be far better to simply to be a nameless follower of Tao. Then we avoid the contradictions of social action. Minutes left. I still have so much more Where do I wish to go on my path with Tao? Some of this stuff is just so potent, so rich, and so magnificent. Let me read the back of the Tao. Place the word Tao into your heart. Use no other words. The Tao is constantly moving. The path that all life and the whole universe takes. There's nothing that is not a part of it. Harmonious living is to know and to move with the Tao. It is a way of life, the natural order of things, a force that flows into all life. 365 Tao is a contemporary book of meditations on what it means to be wholly a part of the Taoist way, and thus to be completely in harmony with oneself and the surrounding world. I had this bookmark, the last page fell off the book, and I had it here in page 304. Divination. How can divination exceed imagination? You may be contemplating a very bold move in your life. It might be taking a chance on love. It might be deciding to move across the world to begin a new career. It might be combining things that never been put together before to make a new invention. What you're contemplating is so surprising to you that you wonder whether or not to do it. Traditionally, people turn to divination. But how can any system of divination really help you? Whether it is turtle shells, yarrow stalks, crystal balls, psychics, or spirit possession. Are the forces out there really going to provide any true reassurance? Depending on divination means giving up control over your own life. It's also avoiding responsibility. You are able to say it wasn't your fault if things don't work out. Imaginative action is very important in life. Without it, we are less than human. For the imagination to come into being, we need decisiveness and control. Unless we have these two factors, we cannot manifest the concentration to bring something new into being. We should not surrender our right to decide the course of our lives to vague appropriations of unknown. Let's make sure I said that right and look that up. We want to make sure you get a complete, total understanding of what the Christmas I'm saying. And so this is PROPITIATION and propitiation, which means an action of propitiation or appeasing a god, a spirit, a person, atonement, especially that of Jesus Christ. Propitiation. Should we not surrender our right to decide the course of our lives to vague propitiation of the unknown? We should explore every new possibility that appeals to us with wise action. Build the force of our characters. Lives to vague propitiation of unknown. Unknown. I'm going to stop with the reading of the Taos there and make some other statements here before I got 10 minutes left. And yeah, Google Images. Let's go to my Google Images and see what else I can show you. Yeah, you saw all of the photographs of being in New Hampshire, North Conway, New Hampshire, way back when. All this is in, yeah, I got Google Photo. Make sure some of these pictures, oh boy. Yeah. Brother R.A. having seizures and, am I evolving? Am I growing? Am I changing? Is this a covert affair? Am I an American assassin in the media talking about the immortal life of Henrietta Lacks, being a black man who's melanin dominant and got kicked off of Facebook for talking about melanin recessive inbred mutant albinos with a calcified pineal gland. And because I did that mind control show on MIT radio and I began having seizures and whoa, R.A. fell off his bike on his face. Yeah, So, who am I? And what is my role? And how should I feel if I feel like I'm being taken advantage of by those that surround me? Yeah, I'm just wondering if let's in this particular scenario, I should be latent. I should follow the particular path But in following a particular path, there are those that are out there that take advantage. So, should I use my intuition and move forward and not procrastinate on nonsense? I mean, if people borrow money from you and they borrow money, dead slaveholders. This is a Taoist show. Should I bring it down to the level of people who owe me $2,000 or people that owe me should I here? How about if I go to ownership? I think that would help. Let's go to ownership, page 218. I need some advice from the Tao. 218. Ownership. And a small boy drives 100 ducks to the lake with a tasseled stick. A mass of excited white. A small boy can command an entire flock of ducks with a slender stick. The ducks go contently down to the lake to play in the mud. In the end, of course, they end up as someone's dinner. They obey the stick because they respond to their conditioning. In truth, they don't need to obey it. They don't need to be someone's meal. As for the boy, he's doing his job. But he does not own the ducks in an ultimate sense. He exercises his power over them, and they respond. Yet neither realizes that their bond is provisional. Ownership of property is only an artificial construct as well. If we can remember that ownership is something that exists only by definition, then we can give up possessiveness, defensiveness, and greed. What does it matter how much money or land you say you have? You cannot actually own it. You don't even own your body. Ultimate ownership would mean total control. You would never age. You could make it as beautiful as you wanted. You would never suffer from accidents. But the fact is that we are all imprisoned by the fact is that we are all imprisoned in flesh that ages. Flesh that ages. What does it matter how much money or land you say you have? You cannot actually own it. You don't even own your body. Ultimate ownership would mean total control. You would never age. You could make it as beautiful as you wanted. You would never suffer from accidents. But the fact is that we are all imprisoned in flesh that ages, decays, becomes diseased, and can be destroyed by some rather minor accidents. You don't own your body. You live in a borrowed shell. Why not seek the truth that goes beyond the body? Am I seeking the truth that goes beyond the body? I've been your host on Unsurpassable Justice, and thank you for tuning in today. Let's begin to pack up because girlfriend is going to be coming through the door in a few seconds. Make that 10 seconds. Let's take